So yeah, so like I said, we're gonna talk about being in a job. So I got a job because like I just wasn't like I was like one, I was a big fashion head, so it's like I wanted to buy my own clothes and I wanted to provide for myself. I didn't always want to rely on nobody. Like I wanted to do things on my own. I wanted to know that I was capable. So I I didn't even walk with my cane at the hospital. Not in the hospital. I didn't walk with my cane at the job as much as I needed it. I didn't want nobody looking at me like I couldn't perform or like I couldn't do anything. Although I was very limited and I really couldn't. I didn't want to. I didn't want nobody looking at me like I was limited and projecting, feeling sorry for me. Like I just didn't want that. Like I didn't want that at all. Like I never wanted nobody reminding me of how impossible my circumstances were. Like I didn't. Of course, like I would tell like maybe a few people. Like it's not like I didn't tell nobody, but I would tell like a few people my story, and they would be inspired, like very inspired. But I could tell that they would look at me like, dang, like he lost a lot. Like, and I don't. It's not like I was resenting anybody that did that. I just didn't want that to affect what I was doing and how I was recovering. Like because I was still this whole journey. Like from that time where I had that first picture, this whole journey, just this whole journey is like I was always recovering. Like it's been non-stop. Like it's been non-stop from the thoughts, from the emotions, from the physical tiredness, from everything. Like it's just been non-stop. Like these past 5 years has just been, I don't want to say hell, but like it's been like very, 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 very tough for me. Like who knew it would have been me? Like that's just like. But anyways, like as more as I began to suppress, it's like I was neglecting myself. I was neglecting my emotional needs, which had me looking at everybody else, reinforcing, okay, you did lose all this. And I would look at all the kids coming there, even the people working around me. It's like it was always a reminder of what I lost, of what I was not no more, of like I didn't have it no more. Like it was always a reminder. And so that just became it all the thoughts that I used to face when I was before my spiritual awakening, like it's like they all came back to me. But this time they were like on steroids, like, and the suicidal thoughts. It's like, and nobody would be able to tell because it's like I knew how to, I knew how to, from being in the hospital, I knew how to pretend to be okay in public. Like I knew how to pretend to be okay, and like it's not like I wanted to feel like so it's like it wasn't even pretending to be okay. It's like I want to be okay, but I was pretending. Like the truth is that I was pretending to be okay, and so that just made it way worse. Like the suicidal thought, it all starts to increase. And there's been many times where I almost fell through with with suicide. Like I had my pills in my mouth, like the pills that I used to have to take. I used to take. I think I should tell this, but I had to take baclofen. I had to take Neurontin. I had to take Senecot, and yeah, that's was my medication for these for when I got out of the hospital. And I had like pills, like five my because my max dose was like the max dose was 1.5 pill, and I had five of them in my mouth. Like I could have swallowed, and like I was this close, like many a times, like but I just never fell through with it. And like I said, like all those suicidal thoughts, they came back rushing at me, like the shameful thoughts, the embarrassing thoughts of how I walked, like they just all began to hit me like on another level. And it's like, dang, like, but I don't know, it's like people may wonder, like it's like God. That's the only way I can say it. Like deep down, like God was not gonna ever let me give up, no matter, because like I said, I was this close many times. And that's just how my faith in God is just so strong now, because it's like I was this close, it could have happened. Like I was, not only was I this close and it could have happened, but I was paralyzed from the neck down, and they said I wouldn't walk again. They said I wouldn't even move. It could take up to 2 years for me to move. Like I had no choice, basically. Like I felt like I had no choice but to keep going, no matter how. Like that's why I couldn't go or fall through with suicide, because I had to keep going. And now looking at myself now, it's just like God knew what He was doing the whole entire time. Like never once did He not know what He was doing. And so yeah, like I said, bear with me if I tell this story, because it's like it's just so much. It's just so much that happened at these times, and I'm finally putting my whole story out there so that people could see the true me, and so that not even so that people could see the true me, because it's not about me. It's about the kingdom of God, and it's about bringing people back to God, and like taking all the stigmas of who, like, of all, like, cause I'm not religious. My faith is in God. Like, I trust in Christ. Like I'm not religious. Like, I just believe in God from my own experiences. Like, I'm led by the Spirit, not by what people think I should be doing, or what people's expectations of me. I'm just led by the Spirit. So a lot of things that I do, they just don't make sense to people. So like I said, those thoughts, they went on, and like I said, they increased, and eventually it was time for me to go back to school. Well, like, it was 2 weeks. I think it was like 3 weeks before I go back to school. And so I ended up quitting my job to prepare myself for school, since I already know what was going on in my mind. So it's like, okay, so this is school. Now you finna go back to a whole new school, and the schools where I'm from, like, they small. Like, I never been through those big old schools, like them big schools. Like, that was all new to me. So Wheeler, like, that's the school I went to, Wheeler. It was like big as fuck to me. Like, it's like, dang. Like, I remember when I toured the school before I went, I'm like, I am not finna be able to get through this. Like, and so when I toured the school, that's when I came home and it was like, dang, like, how am I gonna do this? Like, and I just felt so much. Everything else, like, it just started to come back more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And 12th grade year was like, I can, like, now that was hell for me. Like, it was hell. Like, it was hell. Like, I won't even say the, like, of course, there were good times, but those good times weren't good times. And you'll understand what I mean when I say they weren't good times necessarily. I'm not even gonna say they weren't good times, because I still appreciate it. And I can look back and, like, actually enjoy it. Like, dang, like, I went through that and I overcame it. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do, y'all, I'm gonna talk about my school year experience, my 12th grade experience. I'm gonna talk about, like, probably like half of it, and then I'm gonna make another part to the video, since I don't want the video to get too long. Like, yeah. So anyways, like I said, like, it was time for me to go back to school, and like, so 12th grade for me, especially like in the beginning, it was very new. It was very, very new. Like, I hadn't been in a public school environment since 2020, since the beginning of 2020, when I had returned to school from the hospital. And so seeing all those kids, man, like, it was like, dang, like, this is crazy. Like, it just, like, it's like I wasn't prepared to face what I was facing. And the amount of anxiety that I faced, like, because this was just one. First of all, it increased. Like, when I started working, like I said, it was on steroids. Like, all the thoughts that came back, it was on steroids. But when I got to school, it's like, now it increased 10 times. Like, I just didn't believe how intense I was feeling. Like, I didn't believe it. So like the anxiety, like the type of anxiety that I had when I went to school was like, because it didn't used to be this strong. It was strong, but it didn't used to be this strong. Like, it's, whenever I would feel any type of anxiety, it's like my body would freeze. Like, I couldn't walk. Like, I couldn't, like, taking a step was like, it's like my body was frozen ice. Like, it literally, that's how it was. Like, and I was like, it was just like, whoa, like, how the hell, like. And so I wouldn't even go to lunch or to breakfast in the morning. I wouldn't go to none of those things, because I just didn't want people to see me struggling in my walk. I didn't want people to see how up I was walking, or like how broken I thought I was at the time, or I was broken. I'm not even gonna, I was broken. But like I said, I would hide in the bathroom. I would never go to lunch. Like, never did that. That first semester, I didn't do that. It was just that first semester I didn't go to lunch. And so, yeah, so on with the story. Like, I know in school, I wasn't, like, people didn't see, because like I said, especially at school, like, I ended up mastering being able to be okay. Like, I ended up mastering putting on, like, presenting myself to be okay, because I also, like I said, I was working at Panera, and I ended up getting a lot of money, and I was able to buy a lot of clothes and buy a lot of fashion that I liked. And I started to design clothes and start to buy clothes, and I will wear clothes. I'm not saying that, because I love fashion. That is the very thing that I'm passionate about. But clothes, like, now looking back, it's like, it was definitely a way of showing up to be okay. And it what not even just showing up to be okay, but it's like it gave me at least some sense of stability and some confidence in myself. Like I feel like dressing up was like it just it spoke to my soul, it spoke to my spirit, like this can be like this is you, like it just kept me going. And so eventually it gets deeper, and that's when I started to get, because at the time I was vaping, like whenever I would feel that anxiety, that like crippled anxiety, vaping was like, and I don't know how anybody's gonna be able to understand this, but vaping was like my it would like relax my body, like so say like I'm say like I'm in class, or let's just say I'm in the bathroom before the next class, and it's time for me to go to the next class. What would happen is like my anxiety, like I would just be so afraid of walking in public, like, and so my body would just freeze up intense. Like it used to be literally like this. And I'll even show videos like of me. I used to go into the bathroom, record myself walking just to see if I'm walking it right before I go out to the next class. Like, but like back to what I'm saying. So like my body would be so tight, right? And I wouldn't be able to move. Like the movement would look like it was like literally like it was hard to move. Like, and so whenever I would hit the vape, it would make it easier to walk. Like I would just walk, like it's like it would relax my muscles, and so I wouldn't be so stiff in my body. Like it literally, the anxiety would literally stiffen me, like just like close me off, like literally, like it's like somebody, the devil was just hugging me. That's just how I felt. Like anybody ever had sleep paralysis, that's the best way I can explain it. And so like I said, the vape would help me to relax my body in some odd way. But another thing with the vape was it was also a detriment. Like it was so hard to describe it. So it's like if I would vape before I go to the next class, I would vape and then relax my body. Now I got like, it's not like my body was walking right or nothing, but it was relaxed enough for me to walk to the next class without fear, if that makes sense. But then as I would go to class, right, and now it's like the nicotine, it's like it's all just floating around in my brain now. Like my body starts to shiver. Like the smallest step is just like my whole body just like shivering. Like the smallest step is like I'm just like, and there was nothing I can do to solve that. So I thought, which then like as time moved on in school, like I ended up start smoking back weed in school, and let's hit the pen. And like, but before it was the weed, let me backtrack a little bit. So before I started smoking the weed in school, I would take like literally like 10 of my Neurotin pills every day, like in school, like before each class, like we would get on break, or after each class we would get on break. And what I would do is I would go into the stall, and I know some of my people like that was at Wheeler with me there, they know what I mean, because it was some of them in the bathroom as I was doing it. Not doing it with me, but like just like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, and I would just like snort pills, like 3 or 2 pills like before each class, just so that I can feel my anxiety wouldn't be so bad. And then eventually this went on. All of these things were combined, so it's not like I was on vaping and I stopped vaping to get on this, and then like, no, I was on vaping and the pills together. And then that's when I started smoking weed in school to also help me with my anxiety. It added on to this. And the reason why I would add so much more drugs is because it's like it wasn't strong enough to solve whatever was in me, like to solve my problems at the time. And eventually that wasn't even strong enough, and that's when I began to drink. Like I began to drink in school, like literally getting drunk, like literally, like. And but at that point, that's when, like, before I started to drink, it's like I was still trying to get through the day of school day, like I was just trying to get by in school. Like I wasn't trying to get good grades, I wasn't trying to go to college, I wasn't trying to do nothing. I was doing fashion and music, but like that's what I was doing. Like it's like I dropped out. Like I even missed half of my no, more than half of my 12th grade year. I used to skip school a lot just because I couldn't take the anxiety, or I couldn't take the feeling like that day. I just couldn't do it. Like, and shout out to my parents who didn't like who like they just understood me so much. So like they didn't, oh no, you finna take your ass to school. You finna like no, they allowed me to be free, and I just really appreciate that as well. And so like I said, not like I said, but anyways, at school, as like time went by, like on more in school, I began to like the suicidal thoughts, like they began to get more and more and more and more intense. Like I would hide in the bathroom every single day, like that first quarter, just to like I would just go in the bathroom and just listen to all the shameful like thoughts just telling me like you lost everything, like you'll never get none of it back, all of it, like you lost it all, like it's just gone just like that, like. And I would just listen to that, like. And at the time, like I was so numb from all the drugs, like I couldn't even cry, like no matter how because I used to try to cry, it's like I couldn't cry, like I used to want to cry so bad because like I just miss it, like. But like I said, I couldn't cry. So anyways, like I said, yeah, so eventually those suicidal thoughts began to turn into something even drastic. Like it was no longer suicidal because I knew that I didn't have the strength to fall through with suicide, or I wasn't going to give up on myself. So what ended up happening was the suicidal thoughts grew to something bigger. Like they grew into I just simply felt unreal, like I just didn't exist, and like nothing that I did mattered. And so that's when I began to start drinking in school, like, and it became heavy. Like I used to be late, like I got videos, like I'm gonna show, but like I used to drink in school and do all that, like, and it was just like so. But one thing that I will say, like in like the numbers, they kept me guided. Like God will always speak to me, like after I would go through something, like after I would feel a race of anxiety or anything, like God, he always, I don't know how to demonstrate how he was comforting me, because we all have our own relationship with God, our own connection. Like you can call God whatever you want. It's not my place to call, just see, like I'm just saying we all have our own connection with God. And in my case, like he was using numbers to communicate through me, and it did help me keep me going. Like it may not have made me feel like I don't need no drugs or anything, but it kept me going. It kept me going, and being like, look at me right now, like it worked in it, like. So that's why I always tell people God is the way. Like you want to know how any of this possible, is God. I ain't got, like, only thing that God was requiring me to do through all of this is just keep going. God said, what's the one scripture he say? Be still and know that I'm God. And that's what I do. I just be still and know that God. Not saying that I wasn't doing nothing that I shouldn't been doing, but I'm saying, like, no matter how tough it got, I kept going. And be still means to just keep trusting. You may be going through something at the time that just like you just don't understand what's happening. You may be doing something that you think is wrong or ain't, like, but the picture is just so bigger. Like a lot of times we'll be going through things, and it's like a lot of times we'll be going through things and we'll shame ourselves, like, oh, I'm smoking weed, I'm smoking cigarettes, I'm doing all of this. God hate me, like God don't like me, God don't. That's just not true. Like it's just not true at all. Like the picture is just so bigger from what we can see. And I think that this one little action is like, not saying that we should be smoking and drinking and doing all of this, but we should understand, like, if we do trust in God, then we should know that it's all for a reason, like, and it's all gonna work out. Because when at the time, I didn't understand, like, I didn't understand it at all. Like I didn't, and like even my dad used to tell me, like, it's all gonna make sense. Like eventually it's all gonna make sense. And now it makes sense. Like I'm able to inspire people with this story. Like, but yeah, I'm getting all off topic, y'all. Let me get back on topic. So, all right, y'all. So eventually, like I said, God was the one that kept me going and kept me in good arms and kept me moving forward. Like I didn't give up. Like I didn't give up. So anyways, like I ended up getting to, like, everything began to catch up to me slowly, and I ended up getting suspended 3 times. That I got suspended 1 time the first semester, and then I got suspended twice the next semester. And the last time I got suspended, it was near the end of school. Like it was like, what, I think it was in April. No, it was in March. Yeah, it was in March. And that was like 2 months before graduation. And at that time, I was failing all of my classes. Not just failing them, y'all, but like failing them. I'm talking about 30s and 20s and 40s and like 50s. Like I was feeling them. And my dad would say, like, he would always tell me whenever we would be outside, like, you gonna go to SCAD, like, you gonna go to SCAD, you gonna go to SCAD. And I used to, like, I just, like, being where we were at, not just how broken I was and, like, all the things that I was going through and all of the experiences I was facing and all of the, just how I thought I was and just how painful, like, it wasn't just that, it was also, like, the money things, like we ain't never had no type of money to afford a school like SCAD, so it just seemed farther than possible. And it's like if anybody should know about the impossible, it's like it's me. Like, I was paralyzed from the neck down, and then I walked again. Like, but that's easy to say from somebody looking at you from the outside. Like, at that point in time, it's like, look what I was going through. You think I just like I don't even really care about SCAD like that anymore. Like, and so, but he would always speak that in me, so I never gave up on the dream. And I would hit him with all the doubt that I was hearing in my mind, and he would tell me the very thing. He'd say, I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what God told me. And like, that's what, like, it kept me going. And hey, look what happened now. Like, just a testimony. It's like I'm just so grateful that I got all these things to look back on and be like, so whenever I face anything else, it's just like, well, God got me through this. So, and now I feel like it's my time to share this with the world and stop holding back. I want to be able to make an impact that I know that I can make. And so, yeah, all right, y'all, so I'm gonna end the video right here. And this is going, like I said, this is part 2, and I'm gonna post part 3 probably. I don't know when I'm gonna post it because I don't even know when I'm editing and all this. But I'm gonna share the next part of my story in the next video. In the next video, and I may do 4 parts in all. I'm gonna talk about my SCAD experience, the rest of this school. The rest of my 12th grade experience. That summer, which changed everything again, and at the end, I'm gonna tell y'all about, like, what I feel like I've learned the most through all of this, and what I can take, and what would be my advice that I would give to people who look up to me now, or people who see me as I am now. So anyways, I thank everybody for watching this video. I pray that God does something amazing in your life, like I told y'all in the last video. And I pray that whatever you're going through, like, whatever it is, know that God is with you. Like, you seen what he brought me through. That same God is with you. He created all of us. And you can call him whatever you want. Like, I ain't the type of person who finna judge you, do anything. Like, your life is your life, my life is my life. Whatever helps you get through, that's you. And so, yeah, I hope that all you have a blessed day, blessed and amazing day. I hope that you can take the most from this video. And yeah, I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.